If you look at the Forbes billionaires list, you will see Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Bernard Arnault, but you will never see a Rothschild. Is it because they lost their fortune? No, it is because their wealth is invisible. While the new rich hold assets that are public, tracked, and easily panicked, like Tesla stock or Amazon shares, the old money holds assets that do not have a ticker symbol, assets that don't just survive a crash, they feed on it. In 1815, after the Battle of Waterloo, the Rothschilds didn't just save their fortune, they multiplied it by 2,500% in a single day. How? Because they owned 3 specific types of assets that the rest of the world ignored. Today, I'm going to show you those 3 invisible assets. These are the strategic monopolies, the shadow ledgers, and the information networks that the elite use to capture the world when it goes on sale. The first invisible asset is what I call the choke point. Most investors try to pick the winner. They buy the gold miner, the car company, or the tech stock. The Rothschilds don't play that game. They buy the one thing that all the winners must use. In 1835, the world was running on silver and gold. To refine silver from ore, you needed one specific chemical, quicksilver or mercury. Without mercury, silver mines were useless rocks, and there was only one major place in Europe. To get it, the Almadén mine in Spain. The Spanish government was bankrupt and desperate for cash. The Rothschilds stepped in and bought the exclusive rights to the Almadén mine. They didn't buy the silver mines. They bought the choke point for the next century. If you wanted to mint money in Europe or the Americas, you had to pay a tax. To the Rothschilds, they controlled the global money supply, not by owning the banks, but by owning the chemistry of money. How do we copy this today? Don't buy the AI company. Buy the energy grid that powers the data center. Don't buy the EV maker. Buy the copper mine when the 2026 crash happens. Look for the choke points. The boring, invisible infrastructure monopolies that control the inputs of the future. The shadow ledger, portable sovereignty. The second asset is designed for one thing: invisibility. When a crash becomes a crisis, governments get desperate. They seize bank accounts, they track gold purchases, they implement capital controls. The Rothschilds learned early they needed a form of wealth that was portable, dense, and completely off the books. Enter the world of high-end art and antiquities. Edmund de Rothschild amassed a collection of over 40,000 rare engravings. Why? Because a $10 million painting weighs less than a roll of wallpaper and can be rolled into a tube and moved across a border without setting off a metal detector. Today, this is called the Freeport trade. Billions of dollars in art, vintage wine, and rare collectibles sit in tax-free zones in Geneva and Singapore. This wealth doesn't appear on a bank statement. It doesn't have a CUSIP number. It is the shadow ledger. How do we copy this? You probably can't buy a Rembrandt, but the principle is portable sovereignty. During a crash, you want assets that are physically in your possession and hold value globally. Rare luxury watches, investment-grade diamonds, or fractional ownership. Of blue-chip art, these assets preserve purchasing power. When the currency burns, and more importantly, they remain private. The third asset is the most powerful of all. It is the reason Nathan Rothschild became the richest man in the world in a single afternoon. It's not an asset you buy, it's an asset you build. June 18, 1815, the Battle of Waterloo. The British markets were crashing because everyone thought Napoleon had won. But Nathan Rothschild had a secret weapon, a private courier network. His agents caught the news of the victory, jumped on a fast boat, and beat the official messenger to London by 24 hours. While the crowd was panic-selling British bonds for pennies on the dollar, Nathan was buying them. He knew the truth before the market did. He bought the entire British debt for a fraction of its value. When the official news arrived, prices skyrocketed. He didn't just make a profit, he effectively bought the government. How do we copy this? The asset here is information asymmetry. In 2026, the news will tell you the world is ending. The panic is the smokescreen. You need to build your information network. Now, don't watch mainstream news. It is a lagging indicator. Watch the bond yields. Watch the insider buying. Watch the smart money flows when the herd is selling, because they think the world is over. The person with the real data is buying the future for pennies. The Rothschilds don't survive crashes by luck. They survive because their portfolio is built for chaos. 1. Choke points to profit from the rebuilding. 2. Shadow assets to protect from the confiscation. 3. Information to buy the panic. The next crash is coming. The visible economy, your stocks, your 401k, your savings account, is in the blast radius. But the invisible economy is waiting to be captured. I've covered the problem. I've covered the history. In the next video, I'm going to reveal the modern list of choke point stocks that will rule the next decade. You do not want to miss that list. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and remember, in a crash, wealth isn't destroyed. It is merely transferred. Make sure it's transferred to you.